Good evening. This is Gay Spirit, a program of information and entertainment for the lesbian and gay community of the greater Hartford area. Come out, folks. Gracie Fields, born Grace Stansfield in Rochdale, Lancashire, was one of Britain's top singing actresses in the first half of the 20th century. You hear her voice captured live in performance at the Holborn Empire Theatre in London, October 11th, 1933. Gracie was always a great musical humorist. Here she sends up an art song called May Morn by the Italian composer Luigi Denza of Funiculi Funicula fame. Denza spent a large part of his career in London at the end of the Victorian era. Listening to her now, over a distance of many decades, we can appreciate Gracie's understanding of high camp, which is a rather gay sensibility. This is not the first time I have broadcast May Morn on May Day, which is today, May 1st, the date anciently associated with celebrating the arrival of spring. Happy May Day and good evening from Gay Spirit, America's longest continuously running radio program specifically devoted to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender concerns, now working its way through its 28th year of uninterrupted week-by-week broadcast here over listener-supported WWUH. Our companion program, This Way Out, has just passed the 20th anniversary of the beginning of its syndication. This Way Out is billed as America's internationally transmitted lesbian and gay radio magazine. This Way Out goes out to in excess of 155 radio stations in 8 countries and is broadcast worldwide on the shortwave radio band. WWUH was on the original list of subscribers when This Way Out premiered, way back on April 1st, 1988. Ever since that date, there has been a full hour of gay programming at 91.3 FM on Thursday evenings. First comes the current weekly half-hour-long installment of This Way Out, followed immediately by another 30 minutes of locally produced and live on-air gay spirit bringing you up to 9 o'clock. The two gay shows are but a tiny part of the full spectrum of audio alternatives this station offers you, the listening public, nonstop, round the clock, every single day of the year. To access this wealth of music genre shows and public affairs programs at any hour of the day or night, at any location on the planet in real-time audio, go to our station's website at http://wwuh.org. And now, a Connecticut Pride 2008 preview with my live in-air studio guest of the evening, Billy Urich. Billy, it's great to have you back with me once again.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
And listen, you've been a very busy guy, not only just preparing for Connecticut Pride 2008, but you have been deeply involved in Interpride, the international gay rights organization.
Actually, Interpride is a network organization of member organizations which produce Pride events. We're basically a support network.
Yeah, but it's people like you from all over the world communicating and cooperating with each other.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There was a big meeting in Vancouver?
We had the mid-year board meeting of the members of the board, which is traditionally held 6 months prior to the International World Conference in the host city.
Now, you've just come back from that meeting.
Yes, uh-huh. It was a very productive meeting. A lot of stuff that we had to take care of as a result of the membership requests from the Zurich meeting international event last year have been implemented, and we're still working on implementing more. Particularly the new addition to the Interpride website having its own dedicated human rights section to it. So that's something that I've been pushing for a number of years, and we finally got it up and running during the Vancouver meeting, so I was very, very happy about that.
Well, here we think of public demonstrations of gay pride more like a kind of like a public party, but
right.
But in many other places of the world where human rights are threatened, these public demonstrations really are protests demanding rights for the sexual minorities.
Absolutely, absolutely. In many parts of the world, the visibility of a pride event could be a death sentence. So the people who are trying to do this in some of the Middle Eastern and African nations, for example, are extremely brave and courageous individuals to actually be willing to put their lives on the line for the visibility of their nation's pride movement.
I remember beholding the video of, I guess, that you acquired, that you gave to me, of what happened in Belgrade in Serbia in 2001.
Yes.
That was pretty horrific.
Yeah, it was rather graphic and shows a lot of people being beaten by the crowd. There were approximately 40 people who participated in their country's first Pride event, and well over 1,000 anti-protesters who literally beat the dickens out of them, and it was quite bloody. There were a number of people who were seriously injured, and at that point, the Prime Minister of Serbia just said, "Well, see, we told you so. We're not ready to tolerate homosexuality yet."
But just this evening, in the installment of This Way Out that we heard, we learned that Serbia's president reportedly guarantees the safety of everyone coming to Belgrade for the Eurovision Song Contest, which really is a kind of gay event.
Yeah, actually, the folks at Reykjavik Pride in Iceland sent a letter out to all of us in Interpride, reminding us that if anyone goes over there, to be very, very careful, to travel in groups, to maintain contact with your country's embassy or consulate. There's safety in numbers. Don't go out alone. Don't do anything at night unless you're in a large protective group. Uh, Serbia is in financial straits, and they definitely want the income. Maybe this will be a wake-up call for them. When Warsaw had their first couple of Pride events, last year they had their second legal Pride event, the city fathers in Warsaw recognized that the influx of money coming in was good enough and substantial enough that they actually received a permission and encouragement from the city fathers, the Warsaw Pride folks, to bid for and host Europride 2010.
Yeah.
So that's a phenomenal stride when just 3 years ago their event was illegal.
Yeah. Next door in Belarus, things are not so good either. But is there progress in that part of Eastern Europe, too?
We're trying. Belarus is a very particularly difficult situation because they are not members of the EU like Poland has become. So they're not governed by the same forces that their neighbors could put upon them.
Yeah, perhaps.
And also, Belarus has an active KGB, which is very, very difficult.
So perhaps there isn't a certain kind of international leverage that can be applied to Belarus.
How would we do that? That's we send letters of protest, and the best way to do it is to actually do what they're going to do, which is very brave. They're going to try to follow the Warsaw model. They're going to stage what has been declared as an illegal event by their mayor, just as it was in Warsaw. The event took place anyway. Then they sued in their nation's courts and won, and then they took it to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg and won there. And it worked for Warsaw. And Warsaw has become a beacon of hope for Central and Eastern European Pride organizers. So Belarus is going to give it a shot, and hopefully I will be there in September to encourage them on.
Oh, marvelous. So folks here in Connecticut don't really understand how lucky we are, how easy we've got it, that it is possible for large groups of us to gather and rejoice in public without the fear that so many other people experience in these other troubled parts of the world.
Right. We can do that over here, and it was discouraging to me for quite a while that folks over here didn't really understand how difficult it was in other parts of the world, and that they didn't care. And it wasn't that they didn't care, it was that they didn't know. So through Interpride and through my position as the chair of the International Human Rights Subcommittee for GLBT issues around the world, I've been trying to raise awareness and making people aware. And it's been working. Atlanta did a wonderful thing with their Pride Festival last year. They dedicated the whole thing to human rights. Toronto does a wonderful dedication to foreign prides with difficulty. Vancouver is bringing over representatives from Warsaw and Moscow to be their grand marshals for this year. Vancouver Pride is also sending a delegation to both Warsaw and Moscow this year, which I think is just wonderful. We're now starting to see the international solidarity come about that I've been pushing for a number of years, and it's really gratifying.
You were also in Washington, D.C. not so long ago for a planning session, Pride planning session?
Well, as regional director for Interpride for the Northeast states, my territory is from D.C. up through and including Maine. So I went down to D.C. to speak with the D.C. Capital Pride folks who at one point were members of Interpride, and I wanted to bring them back into the fold, as well as Baltimore, which has a really splendid event. And I also met with the folks from Annapolis, Chesapeake Pride, who are members of Interpride. So we had a really nice brunch all together and discussed what Interpride can do as a support network to help these organizations, coming back into the fold.
That's real great. Maybe we should talk a little more now specifically about plans for Connecticut Pride. I'm talking, by the way, with Billy Urich, who is a member of our Connecticut Pride Organizing Committee, in addition to his work with Interpride, which he's been talking with us about. So, about it. First of all, it's going to be in a different location this year. It's going to be in Elizabeth Park, a place where it has not been held, I think, since 1993?
2000.
Since 2000?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a 1993 event.
Yes, there was.
There also.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that tells you how far back I have been attending and monitoring Pride events for Gay Spirit Radio.
Yeah, to actually 93, I think we had Kate Clinton that year. And in 2000, when Pride was originally going to be canceled, we got a new committee together and said, well, let's pick a date sometime in the fall when we can pull this together. And that was actually the first event that was held in the fall, and it was in the fall ever since then until we brought it back to June last year.
I still maintain that it is more appropriate for it to be held in the month of June, which is the traditional month for gay pride celebrations, considering the fact that Stonewall occurred in the month of June.
That's correct.
June 69.
Yeah, the end of June 69. But we're also seeing more events outside of the traditional Pride month of June, which I really like. As a regional director for the Northeast, I try to get to as many Pride events as possible, and June, as you can imagine, is a pretty busy month for me, especially having brought our own event here in Connecticut back to June. But a number of organizations have them in July, August, September, and even Philadelphia does a big event in October. Then again, on a global level, if you look at June, that's actually, that's actually winter in some of the Southern Hemisphere Pride cities. So they do their events in February, for example, which is the height of their summer.
Yeah, we know from reports that we hear on this way out that Pride events in Australia are absolutely gigantic affairs.
Yeah, Sydney does a pretty large group. They've also hosted the Gay Games, and that was a phenomenal success. They did have some difficulty financially with their Mardi Gras some years back, but they've recouped and restructured and reorganized, and they're doing quite well.
Okay, so the date set for Connecticut Pride 2008 in West Hartford, Hartford's Elizabeth Park, is Saturday, June 7th. And we have a theme this year, don't we? Well, there's some kind of a theme or slogan for every year.
Yeah, we were torn between 06, 07, 08, which is actually June 7th, 2008. The date, it was 06, 07, 08, Hartford Pride's going to be great. And then we settled with the lyrics from the Heather Small song, What Have You Done Today to Make You Feel Proud? And that's what we decided to go with.
We have a great entertainment lineup.
Musical
artists are coming to town. And, of course, one of them that has been heard frequently on this program over the past few months has been local singer-songwriter and women's rocker Arlene Wow. She's going to be part of the entertainment lineup. There's someone else from Connecticut who's well-known in the club scene. Am I right? The recording artist, Abigail.
Yes.
She's going to be on hand.
Yeah, Abigail is our headliner. Some of the club set might know her from the song Let the Joy Rise, which was a mega hit for her, as well as the remake she did of K.D. Lang's Constant Craving. So she'll be very popular, and she'll get things rocking for us.
You've spoken to me of Carrie Ashram?
Ashton. Carrie Ashton is also a local Connecticut gal. Incidentally, she'll be performing this Saturday at Northampton Pride as well. Phenomenal talent. We've got Least Complicated, who's played for us before. Shaded Soul, they're just an incredible band. Jen Taylor and Sweet will also be with us, in addition to Arlene. Lady Tatiana is going to be doing a whole Hispanic review for us. And Tomas is a hip-hop performer that I found at the New York Gay and Lesbian Business Expo last month. And I was so taken with his abilities that we're going to be bringing him up from the city to be on our stage on the 7th of June.
That's right. there'll be many acts carried over from years past. Let's not forget the Hartford Harlettes.
Absolutely.
They will be in on the action, as they have been every year. The Royal Court of Connecticut will be making an appearance, yes?
Yes.
Now, will we have any information speakers, informative people? Well, let's say, hey, the mayor of West Hartford. Will he be in attendance?
Well, I haven't contacted him, but that's a possibility. We will, of course, have the usual speakers that we have: True Colors, Love Makes a Family. I'm hoping that Ann Stanbeck will come and give one of her powerful speeches, as she always does.
Yes, we learned that Robin McCallan has just received a award and now on a national basis from the NEA, National Education Association.
Robin is just a phenomenal, tireless worker for our kids here in Connecticut.
She'll be there and she'll have something to say.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I encourage them. Representatives of PFLAG will be there. We may have a few political speakers, but we try to keep that down. We don't want to jeopardize our non-political status, although our event can be political. And there will be various organizations from within the community who will speak. Something that I'm particularly proud of that has just come about is that the state DCF has approached us and wanted us to be a sponsor. I think that's just outstanding. They will also be speaking from the stage about opportunities for GLBT people to not only foster parent, but they are also encouraging adoption. And that's just wonderful news. We've come a long way as far as that goes. When we look at Florida, where gay and lesbian couples are banned from adopting and even foster parenting their kids.
Well, it's another step towards full equality in Connecticut.
Absolutely.
Sure. So that's a real good sign. And, of course, plenty of food vendors and so forth. Will the Pond House be available?
No, we're actually going to be on the other side of the park. So the Pond House, we welcome people to go there by all means, but we won't be within the close proximity that we were in past years. We're going to be on the Hartford side on Lookout Hill, overlooking the scenic skyscraper of Hartford.
Oh, that's great. So when do festivities begin on that Saturday?
We're kicking off at 11 a.m. and hopefully closing down by 5.
Now, it is important that volunteers assist the Pride Committee in pulling this off. It's a team effort.
Yeah, we're all volunteers, and the more we have, the less work for the small core that we have to do. And we've got a good base of people who have actually volunteered, and we'll be in touch with them, and we'll definitely put you to work if you want to come to the event on Saturday, the 7th of June, and look for something to do. We'll have stuff for you to do.
Yeah, but now you can get started cooperating with the Pride Committee. You have been meeting, have you? Do you folks meet face-to-face on a weekly or monthly basis for planning?
Normally that's what's done, but because of everybody's schedule as volunteers is so hectic, basically all of our business has been conducted online, and it's been rather successful. I miss the face-to-face getting together, though, so we may bring that back. But the online thing seems to be working, and it's actually a model that I took from Interpride because we do most of our international business online because we've got people from Manila with a 12-hour time difference, and people from Tokyo, from London, from Sao Paulo. So we do everything online, and that way everybody gets a say.
Okay. How do you reach Connecticut Pride online?
www.connecticutpride.org.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you too will be speaking, perhaps about international human rights issues. Are you going to have the same display that we saw last year behind the bandstand?
Yes, actually, I've done a little work on that and jazzed it up a little bit. That display will be available for people to look at. Some of it is pretty shocking. That was something that Atlanta Pride produced. They brought me down there last year for their event, and asked me to help them promote human rights for their festival. And as a result of the efforts that I've been doing through Interpride and raising awareness on human rights issues, Atlanta dedicated their entire festival last year to human rights, and that display came out as a result of their efforts, and they did a phenomenal job, and they encourage people to show it. So I'll be taking it down to Brooklyn Pride and to Jersey Pride as well.
Oh, so it's going to get a lot of eyes will be able to behold it.
Exactly.
At other Pride events.
Right.
Is there a contact phone number, too, by the way?
860-225-5122. You can leave a message. And
Great.
we'll get back to you eventually.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking with Billy Urich, who is a member of our Connecticut Pride Organizing Committee, and also has been cooperating with Interpride, the organization that advocates to put on public pride events in cities all over the world. It's been absolutely fascinating talking with you, Billy, once again. And, of course, Gay Spirit will be there to cover this year's Pride event, which is, how many years now, Pride, has it been in the state of Connecticut? Since 1980 or 81?
This will be the 27th Pride celebration that we will be doing in Connecticut.
Wow. 27 years and going strong, folks. Be there in Elizabeth Park Saturday, June 7th for Connecticut Pride 2008. Thanks to Billy Urich once again.
Thank you, Keith.
Just enough time to squeeze in this announcement for MCC Hartford. Now that the Connecticut Pride Center is closed, Metropolitan Community Church of Hartford has moved the old center's Broad Street location, where they had been housed for many years, to a new place of worship. MCC Hartford invites you to join them for Sunday worship at 10 a.m. in the parish house of Church of the Good Shepherd, 155 Willis Street in Hartford. For more information, you can phone area code 860-724-4605 or go to the website www.mcchartford.com. Remember, MCC Hartford exists to offer everyone the opportunity to experience the liberating love of Christ. The first Sunday of every month, MCC Hartford has a special service of praise and worship beginning at 5 p.m. The next service of praise and worship upcoming will be this coming Sunday, May 4th. If your nonprofit lesbian and gay organization would like to announce something on Gay Spirit, send the information about it at least 2 weeks in advance to Gay Spirit, care of WWUH, the University of Hartford, West Hartford, Connecticut, zip 06117. Well, that does it for Gay Spirit for this Thursday evening. Be back with us every Thursday night from 8:30 to 9 p.m. For more information for Greater Hartford's lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. And this is Keith Brown wishing you a real gay week and good night for Gay Spirit.